And now, for the very exciting panel discussion on what does it take to be successful in Macedonia. So I'm sure you would love to know how our panelists carved their niche in Macedonia. So each of them perhaps defines success differently. Let's begin by getting to know today's panelists. Nina Angelovska and Zarko Dimitrioski are very popular faces in Macedonia. So they recently made it to the very prestigious list of Forbes 30 under 30 in Europe. Nina is a co-founder and CEO of Gruper, and Zarko is co-founder of Edena Eden, the highest rated TV talk show in the country and established marketing agency. Golejshka is from the famous citizen-driven volunteer initiative, Retweet a Meal. If you don't know about this initiative yet, please look it up, and I'm sure each of you will want to be part of it. And last, but not least, Meral Musli Tajroska, Mother Schools Ambassador and spokeswoman for Women Without Borders in Macedonia. So, wondering what Women Without Borders in Macedonia is. Read her biography, Google the organization, you will see it's really cool. And I'll introduce you Hazel Correa, USAID's Development and Outreach Communications Specialist, which she will be the moderator of this panel discussion.
Thank you. Applaud us. Applaud us. Thank you. So our conference theme for today is Macedonia's journey to self-reliance. For Macedonia to get there, we need more people like you, our audience, and you, our panelists. Our objective today is to hear from you what is success and how it can be achieved right here in Macedonia. Being successful means different things to different people. So let's start with hearing from you on how do you define success?
I'll go first. Hello everybody, I'm Anna. In my point of view, as a part of an informal initiative called Retweet a Meal, being successful doesn't mean to achieve something and then to stop. It means that you must constantly develop yourself, you must learn, and at the end of all, being persistent in what you want to do.
Well, in my perspective, it is about feeling confident with yourself and loving yourself. And I guess at the end of the day, it is the goal for everyone to achieve. So let's not view it from a business perspective or anything else. Just if you succeed in being confident and loving yourself for what you are successful.
Yeah, I agree.
So the definition for success personally to me splits in two categories. I feel that the first category is me being able to pay the bills or being able to take care of my family is, to me, basic success. And the second category is something that I always wanted to be, and that's have a positive impact on our society. I really, as a little kid, I always wanted to have some impact, change some lives, and by going that way, changing my own life. So I'm happy to say that we are almost there.
Should I add anything? Because they already said everything. I think that being successful is being happy with yourself, being happy for what you're doing. Doesn't have to be connected with having your own business, or doesn't have to be connected, as you mentioned, for instance, financial instability is, I guess, your first point that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think that if you enjoy what you're doing, if you are good at what you do, you'll do it with passion. Your work or job will be a hobby. If you love your family, and I think that being successful as a definition is being successful, being able to achieve the balance of many things that we have to juggle with in our lives.
Great, okay. Can anyone be successful? Before you answer that.
I would like to take that.
Okay, before you do, let's poll the audience. Raise your hand if you think anyone can be successful. Wow. That's a popular opinion. Apparently, anyone can be successful. At least our audience seems to think so. So why is it that not everyone is successful? What sets successful people apart?
I have a story which I love very much about this particular thing about what makes successful people apart. So this is the story. Maybe some of you have read it or know it, but it's right to the point. So the father had 2 sons, and one day he was very old and he had to give the farm to one of the sons. So he sat them down and he said, I decided that the farm will go to the younger son. And then the older son was very furious and wanted to know why the decision was made that way. So the father sat calmly with the sons and said, I will give you one task, both of you, so that we will see how you will perform. And then he said, we need to buy more stocks, so please go to CB and check if he has anything for sale. The older son went to CB and came back and said, Father, CB has 6 cows for sale. He said, thank you very much. Then he said the same thing to the younger son, and the younger son went and came back with a slightly different answer. So he said, Father, CB has 6 cows for sale. Each cow costs 200 rupees. If we are really in a hurry, he can deliver the cows tomorrow. But if we're not in a hurry, next week Jersey cows that are much more quality will come, and if we can wait, he will deliver the cows in 2 weeks. So the difference and the message here is that successful people initiate, successful people do not have to be micromanaged, successful people are hard to replace. So I would say that we should try and strive to make ourselves as hard as we can to be replaceable. Nobody is irreplaceable, but to make this as hard as we can. And of course, the successful people are offensive, not defensive. So you see the difference between the sons, and I would say that this is the difference that sets successful people apart. They do not deliver to the minimum, but they do it with, they initiate.
And obviously having cows near you helps a lot.
Yeah, I think that the young people in Macedonia should be aware of that the initiative not comes by itself. You must sometime to create it, because we have a lot of potential for anything that you want to imagine. And I think that's the story that Mina brings to us is a short bullseye into the what success means.
I feel like Meral has something to add here.
Yes. Well, as a psychologist, I have this natural belief in people that they have potential in themselves. So it comes naturally to me to see that someone has got what it takes. And when we think about what separates successful people from other people, is that successful people know exactly what they're good at. So when, let's say for example, when you're a good cook, so let's say everybody in your family says that your cooking is the best. So, sorry, instead of going to law school and becoming a lawyer, you should just invest in yourself, becoming a better cook, or invest in your professional build-up. So that's how you will create, let's say, this. Oh, I'm the word for it.
Say it on Macedonian, we will find it.
No, a platform. That's the word I was looking for. So you will create a platform where people will see how passionate you are, and you will get noticed by the right people who will help you to get where you need to be. So that's my definition of seeing the difference between successful people from other people.
Okay. Zarko, I know you have an opinion on this one. Do successful people choose growth, or do they choose comfort?
Well, definitely growth. I mean, for sure. One thing is being comfortable with the situation. One thing is to want more from the situation, and wanting more from any situation, whether it's personal relationship with people or business-wise or whatever. That is the driver behind every step forward. So basically just wanting more from anything. And like Adam Smith has said in his lesser known book, the the wanting more in each individual from selfish reasons, not altruistic. If we are all selfish for ourselves, the society will benefit because everybody will thrive, you know. But it has principles, so it's not just doing it with no boundaries at all. Being selfish doesn't mean you should harm other people. You know what I'm saying? So basically, if we all try to get our literally best out of ourselves, not care about anybody else, the society will grow, definitely.
I agree, yeah.
I think that deserves a round of applause. Anna, do you want to add to that, or?
Well, I think that he wrapped it up very nicely. Yeah. So
you can go after an applause.
Fair enough, fair enough. Does success come at a cost?
It does, yes, yes, and yes, and yes, and yes.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
right? Consensus.
A couple yeses.
What kind of cost is that?
Is the hard work is the main price of success, I'd say. Dedication, determination, all the sacrifices, all the sleepless nights, all the hours of hard work, all the fails and ups and downs, and these are all the costs of success. All the barriers that you have to overcome, all the things that you have to do but you don't feel like doing at the moment. Nobody cares. If you have decided that you want to be successful, you want to get there, you have to get there. You have to overcome each and every rock on the way, each and every obstacle. But in the end of the day, that rewarding feeling we get after we have overcame an obstacle, after we learned a new thing, after we've been recognized for our hard work or whatever, the results are priceless motivation, and that keeps us going to the next level and to the next rock and to the next road and to the next mountain. So I'd say yes, but it's worth it. The costs are there, but it's worth it. Value for money, for investment.
Well, in my case, there's no money in my activism and what we are doing with
no, I was not talking figuratively.
Yeah, but
I didn't mean literally money.
Yeah,
of course.
but I want to say that that cost that I am feeling even now, it's the time-consuming period that you're doing and doing and doing all the thing, and at the end you're realizing that you're helping people, and that's the success that you want to bring it. So I think that there are a lot of sacrificing and responsibility towards people when you're working with that.
Agree.
Yeah.
The impact, of course, is...
Yeah, yeah. So one thing that's common with all of you is you've been able to turn obstacles into opportunities. How have you been able to do that?
Well, you know, one thing...
I would like to...
Yeah. Go.
To say again one other story.
Sure.
Okay, I'm quite a storyteller today, so one will be, again, the story of Bata, about how we view opportunities, and the other will be of Grouper. In 19th century, while colonial Africa was opening their markets, the shoes factories sent their representatives from Victory, England, to go to the African market and see if there is market for them. All the sales reps came back and said, all people are barefoot, there is no market for our product. The only one that came with a different statement was the rep from Bata. That's how Bata opened their factory in 19th century in Africa. And he said, all the people are barefoot, we have a huge potential and a huge market to put shoes on their foot. So I'd say that is the perception and how we see opportunities. For instance, the Grouper story is that when we launched Grouper in 2011, if we look at the business plan on paper, low internet penetration, low active payment cards, people do not use payment cards, lack of trust, only 2 banks are providing the service, and you would say it's not the right timing. There isn't not an opportunity on this market to open now a Grouper deal site or even an e-commerce site or online company. So we decided to create the opportunity for ourselves, and we said, there's a huge potential. It's an economic crisis. People don't have money. We will offer discounts. We will offer attractive offers, and we will give the people a reason why they should buy online. So we created the opportunity for ourselves, and I'd say that It's very important to see the challenges and to create the opportunities for ourselves, not wait for them to come to us. And in a developing country as Macedonia, we have as many opportunities. There's so many initiatives and business models and organizations that are very well established in the world and developed countries, and we don't have yet. So it's a very good approach to try to be innovative in bringing new business models to our market.
Yeah, I mean, in Macedonia, it's really tough because particularly, but it's all around the world. When you are an entrepreneur, when you're a private entity, like literally independent, you butt heads with the big guys, the global guys. And you cannot do that unless you differentiate in some sort. So it's not that easy to find what differentiates you. So congratulations to the guy that went to Africa and said that. But it's not easy. You know, when I say, okay, you should think outside the box, I don't tell you how to think outside. It's really tough to think outside the box. Much more tougher than you would imagine, like the average guy would imagine. So it needs lots and lots of work. It's a muscle, to train your muscle to think outside the box. You know? And for example, here in Macedonia, if we're one of the most prominent independent marketing agencies, but we do have the highest rated talk show. No agency, not even the big ones, have their own highest rated TV program, their own. So that's what made the differentiation that paved the way for us to start growing. But if you do not have that kind of niche that makes the entire difference, you do not stand a chance with the global guys. So that's kind of an advice. Find what makes you yourself and unique. And because, you know, every big global entity or domestic big entity, they have their own weaknesses. I mean, we all know them, you know, like slow and whatever it is. But you, as a little guy, you have to be smart, quick, differentiate yourself. You will be on a good way.
I would just want to add to this that sometimes overcoming the obstacles, it's not doing by yourself. It's creating a collective that will help you through that. And also that happened with Retweet a Meal. We were like 5 people who wanted to cook for homeless people, and now we are like a group of, I don't know, 30, 50 people. Also that we did the obstacle, we created like a motivation for the other people. So if you turn the obstacle into motivation, I think that the success will bring it to you.
I definitely think that deserves a round of applause. So let's see, have you faced a lot of failure? And if yes, which I assume most successful people have, what has kept you going?
Well, this is one of my favorite questions, really, because I always think of something always comes to my mind as in if I had a dime for every single time a door was closed at my face, I would be watching this conference live through Facebook at the Bahamas, really. Like, it has happened so many times that the thing that kept me going was, I think, was determination. I knew exactly what I wanted to be. I knew that I wanted to stick to what I know best, and that's psychology. After that, when this opportunity came of being an educator at Women Without Borders, everything came together because I was working with mothers. I was changing their lives, and that was one of my main goals in life, was changing people's life and letting myself grow at the same time with the mothers. Because when you think of the mothers that have been in my classes, they're mothers from all of the layers of society. You have mothers who have never been in school. You have mothers who are very highly educated. But something that they have in common is empathy. And I can reassure you all, if you want to learn something, you have to learn it from your mothers. Even my mother, like before coming to this conference, I'm like, Mom, I have to vomit. And she's like, just vomit and go. And I'm like, okay, thank you for the advice. So what I'm trying to say is just stick to yourself, believe in yourself, be determined, really, that's key. Be determined in what you want to do and just go for it.
I will, yeah. You've said yesterday a very nice thing that we should
I always
care.
say nice things.
We should care about ourselves and we should care about the people. That,
exactly.
Yeah. It's important part of overcoming the failures and all that. Also the love of what you're doing. I think that is exceptionally very important.
For sure. When we were last talking, one thing all of you emphasized was passion and love. Yeah. And would either of you want to elaborate more on why that was an overwhelming sentiment all of you felt when you were talking about this?
Just a quick one, sorry.
Sure.
Something that I saw in myself when I was standing in front of the mothers I was teaching. I call them my mothers because they became a huge part of me and they became a part of my own growth, is I saw that I worked for 1 month as an accountant, me. And I developed bronchitis, is that correct? Yeah. Bronchitis. I was coughing like hell. I was becoming ill. I was feeling very bad, and that's when I saw that I wasn't built for that. Like, you have to question yourself and see, am I the next Beyonce or Bill Gates, or am I just a normal person who wants to live in a comfort zone? And that's okay. But if you want to be somebody, you have to see where you shine. For example, when I was standing in front of my mothers, that's when I instantly knew it. I was built to do this. I was built to be in their life. I was built to make a change for them, make them believe in themselves and be the best versions of themselves.
I would like to...
Yeah, that's the moment when your passion comes and you shine to yourself.
I would like to agree and slightly disagree.
Okay.
She said that she won't buy me coffee later. No. When we started Grouper, I had 21 years. I was 21 years old, and I had to be HR, marketing, finance, PR. What was finance? Did I mention managing, doing the deals, web administration, customer support, because we didn't have the money to hire these 10 people. And I was giving my best to try to these 10 things because I knew that my goal was to make Grouper succeed. So I think, I agree with you that we really have to have the passion, but I think that nowadays we should not teach our children that they should be specialized in only one area and should be the best at that, because you know, one of the reasons why Elon Musk is that much successful, they say, is because of his ability to be an expert generalist. That means teaching from other disciplines and being able to apply the rules of one discipline to another, something that the others didn't figure to do that. So I try to get as much knowledge as I can from other people, and I think we learn from everywhere. And every time we talk to someone, and I try not to be on social media or whatever when I'm at a table, and when there's an architect at the table and she's explaining how he's doing these floors, and I'm trying to get to know something new, regardless that that's not my passion. So I would say that we have to be able to dive in. To grab everything in order to be able to be passionate about what we're doing, we have to do many other things. Did you hear anybody saying, oh, I feel like I want to do the laundry, I feel like I want to do the ironing? No, but those are things that we really have to do on the way to achieving the ultimate passion that we have. So that was just an add-on, in my opinion.
Definitely deserves a round of applause.
Thank you. I got the first applause for Angel.
We're close to being at the top of the hour, so let's wrap up with hearing from all of you, including you, Zarko. You've been a little quiet right now. I'm surprised, I'll be honest.
He's minority now.
Yes, for a change.
I do the laundry too.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear from each of you on what, in your opinion, needs to change here in Macedonia for more people to be successful.
Are you all looking at me because I was talking a lot? I mean, I can.
The one thing that's probably, from my perspective, the biggest problem is just not finishing tasks.
Yeah.
That is the main thing. And you know, if I ask you to kind of invest, not money, but just invest in one guy that you know, I guess you all know like 500 people, maybe 1,000, depends from what you do. But if you want to invest in just one guy and for his entire life you get part of his revenue, it definitely, I guarantee, it won't be the one with the highest degree. It won't be the guy who read the most books. It won't be a guy who, I don't know, is from finance background or something like that. So it's not that much about, I mean, I really appreciate all the stories that we have read and everything. I appreciate books, but that's all just stories. You have to dive in.
I practice what I preach.
You know? Yeah, you have to dive in.
Stories.
No, I'm not talking about you, Nina. You have to dive in and finish it. Here, the main problem is not finishing. And what I've said previously, you just ask yourself, you will invest in what, everybody knows one or two guys. Yeah, I can think about, yeah. Who are those guys? Those are finishers. Those are reliable people who think of something and do it. And that is the key. Here, we lack the motivation and strength and belief in ourselves to finish the task 100%, not leave it at 60. That is the main thing.
Unprompted applause.
Yeah. Well, I can just add to that in giving the circumstances in Macedonia, I think that not only the finishing the tasks and all that is important, but also having the strong will to dive into all the problems, the obstacles, the changes that are coming, and also what I said actually at the start, being persistent in what you want to do. So I think that it's my wrap up for this.
I would agree 100% with Zarko regarding being able to deliver 100% and finish the task, not only begin. And then I would like to tackle something that was not tackled, because I figured out that the question was not about what Macedonia and we should do to have more successful people in Macedonia. I love the theme of the anniversary, and by the way, I would like to congratulate the 25th anniversary of USAID, and can you say the exact self-reliance as a way to, what was the
Macedonia's journey to self-reliance.
Okay, so this is the very, very good theme. Why? Because it's how can we make people more self-reliant? How can Macedonia make people to rely on themselves, on their own power, on their own knowledge, on their own ability, on their own resources, not wait from the others, whoever it is. And I would like to tackle something that we didn't mention, and that is the role that parents play in our lives, in the home growing. I would say that I'm grateful to my parents for being able and making me want to strive for always to be better at whatever I do. So I think that we should, parents play a major role, as 80% of child brain development happens until they're 6 years old. So the curiosity that we all have is due to our parents, what they did when we were growing. So I think that in order to make Macedonia have more successful people, we need to ask the parents to be more included in the lives, to try to make their children more curious, to try to make them want to compete with knowledge, not with likes on Facebook. So I would say that parents play a major role, and I would like to invite all parents to become more aware of what their role is in their lives to make Macedonia better, brighter, and better country.
I will remember that now.
Meral, would you like to have the last word?
Sure. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I agree with Nina what she said. To me, I would like to talk more about not the parents, but young people. For instance, we do not have this culture of young people taking care of themselves as much as they should. For example, when you want to achieve something, or when you want to be successful, or when you want to achieve the goal that you always wanted, it's about taking care of yourself. And when I say taking care of yourself, I mean take care of yourself physically. Like, go to bed early. And when I say go to bed early, don't Google at 3 a.m. How tall Jesus was. Just really turn off your phone, go to bed early, and wake up early. Feel good, feel fresh, put on your good clothes on. It doesn't matter where you bought them or what brand they are. Just try to feel good in your own skin. That's about physical health. But when I think, and something that is even more important to me is mental health. And when I say mental health, please don't rely on others, what they're going to tell you. We are living in a Facebook era where everybody is jealous, everybody wants to, not everybody, of course not. I mean, somebody wants to tear you down, wants to make you feel bad. Just don't listen to them. Listen to your own little voice that tells you you are good enough, you are going to make it. And just be your own cheerleader. You will see that change will happen. And maybe some woman like Nadica Žakula will come in your life, like it happened in my life, and your world will change from, it will go upside down. I promise you, just take care of yourself. That's
outstanding. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that's right on time. I'm super impressed today. We've been on time or ahead of schedule. So thank you so much. And let's give everyone a big round of applause for
Okay.